These are 9 steps to improve your mindset from somebody who has hit rock bottom. These are the lessons I've learned throughout my life through being diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, OCD, PTSD, and anxiety. With that, I was told that I might not be able to ever walk again. And if you haven't seen the previous video where I explain a little bit more about rheumatoid arthritis, how I ended up overcoming that, you can click the link below and you can find a video explaining a little bit more. But these are the 9 steps that help me overcome a negative mindset. Step 1, action beats fear. Just start. I know it's overstated, but just starting is normally the hardest process. Take those steps in the right direction and you will make progress. Realize that you need change. Start moving in any direction. It doesn't matter. As long as you're moving, that's the main thing we want to be aiming for. Don't focus on the results. Don't focus on being a perfectionist. Just focusing on the process is where we want to start. We want to move away from the absolute objective and make sure that we're focusing on the process. And when we do that, we can focus on doing that multiple different times. Maybe you want to go to the gym. Instead of going to the gym for an hour, just getting to the gym is where we want to start. Maybe you want to walk or run more. Just putting your clothes on and getting out the door is where we want to start, and tick that off the list for achieving. You've got to be focusing on starting. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Maybe there's nothing you can do. Maybe it's late at night. Maybe you can organize your clothes for the next day. Set an alarm. Just give yourself time to prepare. Aim for the small steps, and the rest will follow, but just start is the most important. Step 2, make friends with the hard stuff and embrace uncomfortability. Being in your comfort zone, you will not achieve anything. Nobody has done anything noteworthy in their comfort zone. And unfortunately, anything that deserves progress is in that uncomfortability. If you want to look good and feel good, eating well and working out, they're uncomfortable. If you want to build a business with no guarantee, that's a lot of energy, time, and money invested. Knowing that if there's any uncomfortabilities you're feeling, that's where you want to be, and that's where the growth will lie. We don't want 2 feet in uncomfortability. We want a foot in comfort and a foot in uncomfortability. If you can embrace this mindset and embrace the uncomfortability, you will grow and you will learn from it. If you want to face it through comfort, you won't make it. Imagine going to the gym, picking up a weight and going, this is too heavy, and leaving. It's not the way it works. You need that weight. You need that challenge to progress and move forward. Make friends with uncomfortability. Step 3, stop lying to yourself. Be honest. You need to be brutally honest with yourself. You know deep down what you're good at, what you're bad at, what areas you need to improve. You know deep down what you need to do. You know what you've been through. You know the honest truth. Letting others down really sucks, but letting yourself down sucks even more. Mostly because we keep reminding ourselves over and over and over again about it. Sometimes that little voice in your head really does start itching and scratching. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your past. Be honest with your actions. Making sure that what you're saying and doing align. If there's anything that you don't want to look at, don't think about, they're probably the things that you need to be honest with yourself with. Don't leave any stone unturned. Step 4, take responsibility. Own your actions and own your life. Your life is your fault, to a certain extent, of course. From the moment you wake up, you have more choices than you realize. What you eat, what you drink, what you listen, what you watch, who you communicate with. Take responsibility and realize that you are in control of your life. When we win and succeed, we view all the things that we did to get to that stage. But when we lose, there's always excuses. It's always something out of your control, somebody else, something else. We always try to avoid any of the losses. You have to accept your mistakes, accept people's wrongdoings to you, accept apologies that you're not given. Take these as lessons, learn from them, but don't keep rereading the same chapter. You need to move forward. You need to look forward. Step 5, question your internal voice and don't believe everything you think. Take a second, take a step back and just listen. What's that little voice saying inside your head? Is it happy, scared, sad? Is it positive or is it negative? We're born fearing 2 things in life: loud sounds and heights. Everything else we learn. That little voice in your head that's saying all these negative things, where do we learn that from? How did we get to the stage of believing what it has to say? I felt like a victim with my rheumatoid arthritis, and I'd play that victim card whenever I could. If there was anything that was challenging, I'd just put my hands up and go, can't do it. You know, rheumatoid arthritis, can't do it. Stop myself from pushing or trying different things. It felt like I knew what my limit was, and if I even tried to push it, it would just be the worst thing possible. It felt like it was my get out of jail free card, but really it was holding me back. I kept reliving the past. I kept reliving the moments of what ifs. It wasn't until I let the past go to focus on the future when my life really changed. That little voice in your head is not always right. Take the skiers paradox, for example. When you're skiing between the trees, don't focus on the trees themselves, but the space between them. If you keep focusing on the trees, reminding yourself not to hit the trees, don't hit the tree, don't hit the tree, don't hit the tree. You'll end up hitting the tree. And this is the lesson for life. If we're focusing on the negatives of life, we'll end up hitting them. We're gonna focus on the space between the trees, or the positive things in our life. If we focus on all the positive in the world, that's what we'll see. Focus on all the negatives in the world, that's what we'll see. It's your choice depending upon what you want to do. That little voice in your head, not always right. Would we speak to any of our loved ones the way that we speak to ourselves? Step 6, review your inputs. Choose better inputs, get better outputs. Every second, we receive about 11 million pieces of information. Our conscious brain can only process about 50. Not only should we be reviewing what we put into our bodies through eating and drinking, but we also need to be paying attention to what else we're bringing in, what we're listening to, what we're seeing, what we're viewing. All that information is still coming in. We really need to make sure that all of that is bringing us up and not dragging us back down. You need to review what is being input into your life, just how fuel is to a car, food is to our bodies. We need to take a step back and review if all the inputs coming into our life are positive or negative, making sure not only we're eating well and drinking enough water, but we're getting enough sleep, getting some sunshine, doing some movement. Step 7, remove short-term fixes and play the long game. We live in a society where short-term gratification is everywhere. Through TikTok, Tinder, vaping, smoking, drinking, one-night stands are plentiful. All of our phones and social medias are these casino-rigged games to get our attention. If you're not paying for something, then you are the product. We need to make sure that what we're doing will benefit us in the future. So reviewing all of our habits and actions, which are only helping us in the short term. Most of these are the hardest things to tackle. Our phone use, drinking, eating, our exercise. It's so much easier to just order Domino's, watch Netflix, and do nothing. But after days, weeks, months, and years, this is only going to affect you negatively. If we can tackle these have the greatest reward. We call these anchor habits. If we can fix our phone use, for example, then we have more time for not only ourselves, our health, but our loved ones and the people around us. It's like a bully asking for your lunch money. It stops you from any physical pain at the immediate, but it means that you go hungry for the rest of the day. Not the greatest analogy, I know, but the question that we have to be asking ourselves is, does this help future me or does it not? Step 8, let your mind rest. Switch off. From the moment we wake up most days, we've got audio playing from podcasts, Netflix in the background. We're always constantly trying to distract ourselves. This doesn't let your mind rest at all. We need to prioritize just letting your brain relax. Most of the time, we're trying to soothe our mind and our body and run away from our problems. I know I did. Grabbing our phone, scrolling, watching Netflix. We're wanting it to block anything that's coming in. There's something that you don't want to face, and that little voice in your head keeps calling out to you. This is something that you need to focus on. If you're lying in bed and your mind's wandering or racing, this is also another sign that you need to relax, take a breath, and just allow things to move in the direction it needs to move. Try eating food without watching a screen, cooking dinner without listening, driving in your car without a podcast. Go for a walk for the sake of a walk. Allow yourself and your brain to come back to resting. Hear it, listen to it, engage with it. Stop trying to fight off the voices, hear and listen to them. The biggest culprit I find is our phones. There'll be a video revolving around our phone use coming soon as well. Step 9. Allow yourself to be a beginner. Embrace the beginner's mindset. If we try something new, we're not a pro at it straight away. We tend to give up, say that we're not skilled enough or naturally talented. That's far from the truth. In a world that shows all the best and the brightest people at our fingertips, we get the ability to compare ourselves against people who have spent hours and hours perfecting their craft. Allow yourself to be a beginner. Allow yourself to learn, try something new. Give yourself some structure. Give it a week, month, a year, 10 videos, 10 weeks, 10 movements. If you want to learn a language, it takes time and patience. If you want to learn a sport or a new hobby, learning a new software takes time. It's all not just luck and skill. It does require some patience. And this comes back from the instant hits of dopamine. If we're not getting those quick hits, we're not sticking with it long enough. Just like everything else, being physically healthy and mentally healthy takes time, effort, and energy. Give yourself permission and time to heal. I wish I could say that everything will be fine in a week or a month or a year. It took me years to get to where I am now. So to recap, step 1, just start. Step 2, embrace the uncomfortability and the hard stuff. Step 3, be honest with yourself. Step 4, take responsibility for your life. Step 5, question your internal voice. Figure out where it's coming from and how it got to that stage. Step 6, review your inputs. Make sure everything coming in is positive and not dragging you down. Step 7, move away from short-term gratification and focus on the long term. Step 8, switch off, let your brain rest. Try breathwork and meditation. I've got some videos on the channel if you'd like to follow along. Step 9, embrace the beginner's mindset. Give yourself permission to be a beginner and be new. These steps can be rearranged in any order that works best for you. I just found that this was the best formula for me. Even if you took one piece of advice away, I hope it was worth it. Thank you very much for watching to the very end. If you'd like to support us, liking and commenting on this video really goes a long way, and subscribing to our channel. Anyway, keep on living the dream. Until next time.